Welcome to the TalkTooMuchPodcast. This is my second episode, and I'm here again with my first and only guest so far, Cydney Q.
I'm back!
Okay, that was unnecessary.
That was really loud.
Okay, it's okay. Good start. Well, I'm glad you're back and so soon. Like the only person so far. Yeah, I'm very glad. So, how have you been? How have you been since last time?
When was last time? Last week? No,
Yeah,
2 weeks ago?
About 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Very tiring. Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Tiring?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're still alive.
Barely. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Let's get started with our wonderful topic for today.
Mm-hmm.
And what we'll be talking about today is being a student athlete, and especially a student athlete at Evergreen Valley.
Okay.
So, you being a student athlete or wrestling, right?
Mm-hmm.
What were some
Challenges?
or struggles like that you faced that kind of made you not want to be a student athlete?
I would say for wrestling, it was kind of easier the second half of wrestling because, grades restart because it is a winter sport.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I really struggled keeping my grade up except for freshman year because I had an injury and I was out, so I couldn't do any homework because of it or any work at all. And then that took a hit on all of my grades, and I had a 2.3. I was borderline, and I can't go below a 2.0. And so my coach was like, get your stuff done. But the thing was, I had a concussion, so I couldn't do anything because my doctor wouldn't let me. And I think that's the only time I really struggled. But that's because I feel like it's easier to maintain than to drop it and then try to go back up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think during the season I made was it AP French and stuff like that, and she was just struggling with that. I do know a lot of my teammates were doing a lot of, I would say, unnecessary classes that
Mm-hmm.
led to stress. But for me personally, I wouldn't say it was too hard where I really questioned being a student athlete.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. What about you?
I'm the complete opposite.
I know.
Don't I know me? Don't I know me? You don't know me. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It's for me, it was really weird because it was either that I would mess up and then my grades would be absolute booty,
Mm-hmm.
or it would be how do I say it? Like kind of like you, I'd get hurt and I'd be like, damn, this sucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just it wasn't even academic wise. It was just I don't know if I wanted to do this
Mm-hmm.
because just maintaining this and if I don't, it's I'm done, right? Most of the time I was I don't know if I really want to do it. So
Yeah.
questioning myself was just really not helping the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And just I don't know. I was totally the complete opposite of what you were saying right there.
Mm-hmm.
I would always have to work back up because I would put myself in a hole.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't help that honestly that our academic situation or athletic director situation is kind of yeah. So at other schools where it's if you mess up and they're you're, I feel like it's easier at other places.
It definitely is.
If you mess up over there, you academic probation and you get to they give you chance after chance,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then here, if you mess up, you're out for what happened to me half a season.
Yeah.
Which absolutely kills, and it just kind of makes you wonder why even bother if you can't even maintain one thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it was just that was my struggle, and it just kept following me throughout high school.
Yeah.
And, like, I managed to persevere through it, but, like, at the same time, it was horrible.
Mhm. I think it's also harder for us because Evergreen's very competitive academic-wise. Mm-hmm. And it's, depending your teachers, it's hard to get a decent grade enough to, like, not worry about it and do sports at the same time. And, like, our wrestling program is very, I would say, competitive just because of the people in the sport and the environment that it's in. And so I don't think that, or I think that, like, a student athlete at Evergreen is very different than, say, like, Silver Creek or other places.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's more of a academic. Obviously, it's academics go first, right? Mm-hmm. But, like, it's hard to, like, be an athlete when, like, the competition is really, like, athlete before academics most of the time.
Yeah.
And you have to be, like, primarily focused on academics, which I see as, like, okay, that's what it should be, right?
Yeah. You
have to have an education, or it's better to have an education than anything, right? But it's just hard to compete with others when you're, like, playing catch up, kind of.
Yeah.
So that's just been my thing, right? If you mess up over here, it's like you're donezo.
Yeah.
But everywhere else, it's like, oh, you're fine, just do better, right? And not even do better, but yeah, that's just, like, my thing. But then going from that, what was it? You yourself, like, just the sport-wise, wrestling, what the outcome you got from your senior year wasn't the ideal outcome.
Definitely not.
So, what would you do if you could start, like, from freshman year wrestling, right? What are some things that you wish you could, like, you know, do, I wouldn't say do better, but just, like, work, like, you would tell yourself to work on, right? Or what you would tell yourself to, like, focus on?
I think what really affected me, which was with, like, a whole bunch of students, was COVID. It definitely did set us back just because, you know, our season, I think our sophomore year was pushed back or something by, like, a couple months or something like that. And we didn't start in October. We started in, I think it was April, but it's something like that, or March or something. Yeah. But even then, we didn't, like, have the proper environment that we were used to, like going to tournaments every weekend, or duels. Like, we were doing just practicing mainly, and then we had the duel against each other because our team was so big. But I think one thing that I would have done a lot better was taking it seriously. Like, of course, like, I went to practice, and I was like, serious about practice those 2 hours, and then afterwards I wouldn't do anything else to really help me besides just keeping up with conditioning. Diesel. But yeah, I definitely think that if I would have put in more work in practicing more and just, like, the mental stuff, I would have definitely done a lot better than I have so far. Yeah. But it's also, like, some things are out of our hands, like injuries and stuff like that. But I think that I got injured mainly because I wasn't paying attention to myself, to my own body, and I pushed myself even more and injured myself even more. And so the 2 tips that I would give myself would be put in more practice and listen to your body.
Yeah, I think that's, like, a common thing that I always hear from, like, people, right? It's always, I wish I took it more serious, and like, I wish I just, like, put in more effort into the sport, right? Which is, like, usually, like, I feel like that personally, but at the same time, right now, I'm like, It is what it is. It wasn't anything crazy. It was just, it's something I just did, right?
Mhm.
So like looking back at it, it's always if you if you commit yourself, right? But it's like I feel like we shouldn't like I want to say reminisce, but like think about what we could have done,
what could have been,
and what could have been, to like. It just makes you feel like regret, right?
Mhm.
And I for a while I thought about I could have done this. It's always I could have done this to do better, or I could have done this to help me win more or whatever.
Mhm.
And it was just that's like, my opinion, not like a healthy thing to do.
Definitely not.
It it's just keeps you stuck in with the moment, right?
Mhm.
And like you can't grow or like develop from that. Like me, I know from freshman year I was happy with my performance, and then after that I kind of just started like off and on, right?
Mhm.
So then I went from like the 130 pounder to like the 170 pounder.
Yeah.
And then I got back in shape because I just like let myself go when other people were obviously
putting in work.
Yeah, doing their own thing, right? Still staying in shape. So then I played catch up there, and then after that point I would just coasted, right?
Mhm.
And then I just didn't put the effort. Even I like I wasn't just natural talent. I didn't have that compared to like my family and stuff.
Mhm.
So with me, I didn't have the time or the experience like compared to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So with me, I just most of the time I was like, oh, I'll be fine or whatever, and then I'll start like getting ready like a month before if it was off season. I'll be like, oh, maybe a couple weeks before I'll start getting ready for something when I should be in shape like the whole time, right?
Yeah.
And then I would beat myself up about it afterwards, like, oh, I could have done this, and done like won that or whatever. But it's just that regret is just it's horrible. So at this point, I'm like, oh, it's over. It's fine. I don't really care. Wrestling's fun, but I'm not gonna beat myself up over it. And like all I could do from that is just, my sister's still doing it. I'm happy for her. She gonna take it somewhere, and like, I can't reminisce about myself. I just gotta keep moving forward because it is an end all be all. Especially how my season ended, where I just got hurt and I said, nah, I'm done, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to hurt myself anymore, even though it sucked and I didn't want to end the season like that. Getting hurt by someone I already beat before, and then losing that, and then that's how I lost, right? And that's how my season basically ended. It was just like, it sucked in the moment, but like, it is what it is. Life goes on. There's so much more, and like it's not that like competing wasn't my thing either.
Yeah.
Being competitive.
It's more about like rolling around and having fun. Would you do like, I don't know, club wrestling or go back to wrestling at all?
That's like the biggest like, I don't know. Because I always tell myself, oh, I could, right?
Yeah.
And I definitely could after like whenever I want. But like I'm just not. I never been competitive like that. So I like just rolling around. And like just going to work out or whatever, because it's good. It's always a good workout.
Yeah.
But with that, I don't see myself being competitive, especially in the shape I'm in. Like I could, right now, I don't see myself being competitive. I want to focus on different aspects in life, right? So like wrestling competitively or whatever, just isn't my like what I want for myself. What about you?
It honestly depends. Because, like, I know you asked me to go to Jacob Palomino's practice and stuff. And I've said no just because with wrestling, it's been very iffy because of my family. Or mainly my dad. But I've always been asked, like, are you going to go into, like, wrestling for college or just, like, club or anything? And right now, it's a no, just because every year I've done it, I've gotten injured. And probably take a year off.
Yeah.
Just because my shoulder is not at its best right now, and I feel it, like, during everyday tasks.
Yeah.
But, right now, I don't know, I kind of, like, sports has always been in my life, and, like, I kind of replaced wrestling with going to the gym.
Yeah.
So I don't really have, like, a desire to, like, go to wrestling, because I went to wrestling mainly to stay in shape and just, like, have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, like, I was definitely more competitive at it.
Yeah.
Like, but I would say no for right now.
Yeah, no wrestling.
I mean, I'm okay with, like, rolling around, but, like, going into a club and being committed to something right now, probably not. Just because the second, like, I feel committed to something, I feel like I need to put my all into it. And that's what led me to injure myself, what led me to, like, just put myself down if I didn't get the performance that I wanted. So that is why I say no for now.
Yeah, I think that's, like, the biggest difference between us. I talk about is that
the competitiveness.
Yeah, you're competitive. I'm totally not competitive.
Yeah.
And, like, wrestling, you have to be competitive.
You have to want it.
You have to want it, right?
Yeah.
But, like, there's a point where you could, like, you have to realize that's, like, it is what it is, right?
I feel like that's for every sport, though.
Yeah, it is, but, like, wrestling, it's tough because it's just you.
It's literally just you.
It's just you out there, right? And, like, you could win a match for your team at, like, a duel, whatever. But, like, most of the time, it's always just going to be you out there just...
It's just your performance.
Yeah.
Like, you can't cheat in wrestling. And, like, I don't know. Like, in other sports, like, I'm not saying you could cheat in it, but it's a little easier, too, in some ways. Especially because it's an individual sport.
Yeah, but, like, with wrestling, it's just you go out there and then the better person usually wins, right? Or it could be a bad day, but usually somebody's just better than you.
Yeah.
And, like, going out there and just trying to give it your all was something that I wasn't really, like, I never really did. Like, I go out there, I competed, right? And, like, I would put on a fight, but I'd be like, if it was, I won't say too much, but if I just wasn't feeling it, I wouldn't, like, give it my all, right?
Fight for it.
Yeah. Like, big matches, I would go out there and I would, like, put on a show, but then I still wouldn't be telling myself that I could win it, right? I wasn't competitive about it. I just said it is what it is, which didn't get me, like, really anywhere compared to other people I know, right? Which I think my sister is really good with. She's really
determined.
She's determined and she wants it for herself, right? Because she could take it as far as she wants to take it. Like,
definitely.
That's what I was always told too, and I think this is the point where I set myself up for, which was just not taking it to, like, the next level, which is fine with me because it's just so much. It's so much to the body, and
it definitely.
It's a lot of commitment. But I could see my sister. She's the winner. She's the winner.
She's the winner in the family.
She's the winner. Which I'm not, like, I'm proud. I'm, like, the proudest brother ever, to be honest. Like, especially today with her winning a match.
Dude, that was crazy.
Yeah, winning that, and I would just, like, I don't know. It always just makes me so happy. It stresses me out more than whenever I would wrestle. It's just, like, I don't know. I'm like, number one fan, to be honest.
No, yeah, it's definitely way different than you wrestling and when you're watching somebody else.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know. Wrestling is just really weird.
Yeah. Why did you join wrestling? Because I know your cousins wrestled, but is that, like, the reason why?
Kind like my friends did. So it was funny because my cousins wrestled, but I didn't want to. Yeah. Because I was scared of this one lady when I would go to their practices, the coach.
Oh, yeah,
her name's Carolyn Wester. She's, like, she's right now, she's basically a pro. She's like, how pro fighters, wrestlers, like, at, like, the highest levels, right? And she's really good at what she does. But, like, I remember she was, like, the strong, Southern lady, and I was like horrified of her because her hugs were like the strongest hugs ever.
Oh, was that the lady you went to Virginia with?
Yeah, that's her. So she's known me since I was a little kid, and I was horrified of her because she was a strong woman. I was terrified.
Mm-hmm.
She was like beating people up. So then I didn't want to do it, mostly because of that. Because if that lady could beat me up, and she's like older, right? Older. She's not old. She's not old. She's gonna find you. She's gonna find me. She's coming to visit soon. I'm scared. But so from that, but then like around, when was it? Like my friends wrestled in middle school, and they were all, "Oh, you should do it, right?" Mm-hmm. And until like 8th grade, mm-hmm. I was like, "Okay, I'll do it," and then I started like winning, mm-hmm. And then I kept getting crap from my middle school coach because he was like, "Where have you been these past few years, man? What have you been doing?" Like he knew my existence. He knew he was trying to get me out there, right? Mm-hmm. But I just would never put myself out there because I was like basically afraid, right? And I remember that year was alright. I was like, I think I was doing pretty good. I was winning stuff, right? I had like up and down, and then like it just like I rode the wave. And it was really good, and it was just like I started off doing it because my friends wanted me to do it. Yeah. But then eventually I was like, oh, I really like this. Mm-hmm. I like just the work. I like being competitive. I like just feeling like I could improve, right? Mm-hmm. And I did good. I remember I took, what was it, 2nd at league, and then I took 3rd at sections, and then whatever, and then off season I took 2nd, I won some tournament, and then we went to off-season state or whatever, and I took 8th, and then I did it again for freestyle. I remember that. And then I won a couple other things, and I was like, dude, I'm doing pretty good. Mm-hmm. So then we were off-season, and eventually came to freshman year, and then that's how we ended up here. Mm-hmm. I did pretty good freshman year, in all honesty. First varsity tournament I went to, I took 4th as a freshman, which I was like, it's lit. Yeah. It's lit, and I just had fun from that, and then after that it went rip. Yeah. But yeah, that was my thing. How about you?
Why did I join?
Yeah.
My dad. Mm-hmm. So, my dad, he wrestled in freshman year of his high school, and then he went on to sophomore year, and he got injured, and he stopped. Like, he never went back to wrestling. Oh. And so I have 2 older cousins. They both wrestled because of my dad as well. And then my brother went into middle school, and my brother is this athletic kid. He's always been naturally good at everything.
Oh, yeah.
No.
My favorite topic.
Oh, my gosh. So he did wrestling, and he was good. I think freshman year, I don't know if he went to counties. I don't think so. Oh, sorry, not freshman year. It's 7th grade. I don't know, but I think he won. No, maybe he did. I don't know.
He won something.
Yeah, he won a lot. And at Shibuya, that was like everything. And so, my 6th grade year, which was his 7th grade year, his coach comes up to me, and she's a girl coach, and she's like, I would like to have you train with us, like, for off-season, whatever. You don't have to go to any tournaments, but I just want to get you kind of used to it, because my dad was already making me do wrestling for my 7th grade year, so I was like, okay. And then I remember those practices were, like, pretty easy, and I kind of, like, had some confidence. Went into my 7th grade year, lost everything. I went 0-2 in the only tournament that I went 0-2 in leagues. I went 0-2 in Hoover tournament, and those are the only tournaments that I ever went to, because that Shibuya, we don't go to a lot of tournaments. Mm-hmm. But all the duels, I lost them all except for one, which was Mountain Murphy. But then I was like, because like everyone knew me as Chris Quatch's sister, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, she should be good. And then he was winning everything. He won county his 8th grade year, and then I was over here 0-2. I think I remember I counted all my matches, and it was like 21, losses and 1 win.
Mm-hmm.
And I was varsity, and I don't know why I was losing everything, because the only things that I won was those wrestle-offs.
Yeah.
But then 8th grade comes around, and, like, I wasn't too confident, but I was also kind of like, I hope I got better, because in practices I felt a lot better. And so 8th grade I did a lot better, except for sectionals. I think I went 1 and 2 at sectionals, but I did a lot better than I thought I would have. And yeah, so then my dad was like, oh, in high school you get to choose if you want to do it or not. And I said, I'll do it, but he said if I do it the first year, I have to do it all 4 years. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then I went into it, and it was fine. Let's see, my first tournament as a freshman, it was a round robin because I only had 4 people in my weight class, but I got second, and that really, like, boosted my confidence. And the girl that I lost to was built like a dude, so I didn't take that as so much of a loss. So I was like, okay, she was built, dude. She was tall, and I was wrestling in 106. Mm-hmm. This girl was like 5'5", freaking muscles bulging out, and I was like, ah. Anyways, and then I forgot how I did any other tournament, but I think most of the tournaments I went 2 and 2, so I didn't really place at any of the other ones. And then sophomore year, no tournaments, but I did feel myself getting a lot better. And my junior year is when I started placing at tournaments, doing pretty good, and I went on second day at CCS, second day at Napa Valley, which is a really hard tournament. And so I was proud of myself as a junior. And then senior year, I was placing at all the tournaments except for like the really hard ones, like those 2-day ones. And I finally won a tournament, and I was like pretty happy with my performance from preseason and the actual season. And then postseason rolls around, my shoulder's not feeling good, and I think it was like 2 weeks before postseason, and my shoulder goes bad, and I have to rest it. And I wasn't really practicing that much. I wasn't really going hard as much as I should have been before postseason. And I feel like I had like the worst career ending, like not career ending, but like the last match of my career. I lost in overtime, and I was defeated. And then that was kind of like my thing, but I was pretty happy just because I stuck to it. And I finally beat my brother.
Yeah.
Because he wrestled pretty much like my dad. He wrestled half of freshman year and full of his sophomore year. And he had to quit because of his knees. But yeah, I was pretty happy that I still stuck with it. But other than that, it was just kind of like, it was a little iffy.
Like I'm not gonna say average.
What?
Just like the experience.
Yeah. I feel like it's pretty common for wrestlers to have like that kind of...
Yeah. You're not the one that was like their whole career going 0-2 at everything.
Yeah. But yeah. Do you think that wrestling changed?
What?
Changed you? The timing.
Oh, wrestling changed me?
Mhm.
Yeah. A whole lot. Like, I remember, like, even just the first year of it, I, like, kind of became a whole different person. Not even a whole different person.
In what
I was,
way?
like, not just physically, but, like, socially, too. Like, I was able to make so many more friends and just socialize more than I was originally able to, because I went to a small little middle school. Yeah, why are you laughing at me?
No, because I remember freshman year you.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I always knew the name RJ, and I knew your face, but I didn't put them two together. Like I only knew you because of On and Coach Ray. And, like, I've seen you around, but, like, I remember you were kind of like the quiet kid and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, junior year, and you were like very different from what I remembered you from. Mm-hmm. And you were a lot more outgoing. And I feel like, I didn't know it was because of wrestling, but...
It probably wasn't just because, like, wrestling itself, I have made so many friends.
A lot of connections, yeah.
Yeah, I have, like, I don't know, it's just, like, it's not, like, a small world, but, like, I've made a lot of connections through it, mm-hmm. and it helped me, like, develop social skills, which I'm incredibly grateful for. Mm-hmm. So, honestly, it's, like, if it didn't, like, affect me just, like, athletically, it's helped me grow just as a person. Mm-hmm. And without wrestling, I wouldn't have, like, the friends I have today, because literally
a lot of your friends are all wrestlers.
I know, like, basically my best friend is, like, all my best friends or whatever are just wrestlers, right? Yeah. And it's just, like, thinking about it, it's just crazy how much it's done for me, even though most of the time I was just hating it and, like, you know, like, wow, this is horrible, I never want to do this, but, like, it's literally one of those moments where it's not about the journey, it's about the friends you made along the way. And that's so stupid. I was just thinking about that. I just realized that.
Please never say that again.
No, but, like, I'm not like that, but you get what I'm saying? Yeah. It's weird. Like, I didn't get what I wanted from wrestling, like, competitively, but I got, like, something, I think, honestly, even better out of it, which is just, like, just...
the people.
Yeah, the people, right? Because it's, like... It isn't a big sport.
Yeah. I feel like, to me, like, from all the sports that I've done, like, wrestling definitely is, like, a big family. Yeah. Like, no matter if you lose, no matter if you win, like, everyone just, like... It's just, like, everyone is so respectful to others.
Yeah, you guys could just beat each other up for 6
minutes.
And
then literally hug each other.
Give each other hugs and stuff
literally.
After. Like, you just give it your all out there, and, like, if you're both good, like... If you're a genuine good person, you're going to leave it all out there, right? Mm-hmm. And after the match, it is what it is, right? Like, I know I wrestled a bunch of people, right? And I see them all the time. Yeah. And then I'm like...
at the gym.
Literally
I wrestled them.
Yeah, I know, literally, right? But, like, it's just it's a sport, right? Mm-hmm. It is what it is. So, like, I remember the guy I had to wrestle at CCS, it was regionals, and he was number 1 seed, and me and him known each other for, like, a good forever. I'm pretty sure I stalked your middle school bracket at sectionals, yeah. Uh-huh. And I think he was one of the guys that beat you.
What school?
I forgot. We could look at it later.
What's his name?
Nathaniel Hertz.
Oh my gosh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's who it was, right? Yeah, but that's one of my boys, right? So I had to wrestle him, and I was upset that I lost because I was beating him, right? And I was, like, coming in low seed, right? Because I had, like, injury out of stuff, right? But I went in there and we left on the mat, right? And afterwards it was fine. But eventually when CCS came around, he got freaking something, and he couldn't wrestle, and then I was just hurt, I couldn't wrestle. So it was just all bad for everybody, but like us, that didn't change anything. We're still cool, right? And I haven't seen him in a while, but I just know that it's gonna be fine afterwards. We're gonna talk about UFC or whatever. It is what it is, right? And, like, I don't know. It's just, like, it's always been just an experience of just, even if you're out there, like, to just go at it, right? You're gonna make a friend.
No, yeah. I definitely, like, during tournaments and stuff. Like, a lot of, like, I was nice to people, and, like, I showed sportsmanship and all that, and I always said, like, good job after, but, like, I never really had intentions of, like, making a friend, you know?
I know. You don't make people.
No. It's just because, like, it's awkward. Because, like, so, you know, Tangvi, like, the one that I beat at CCS, and then she beat me this year. Uh-huh. So, like, me and her, like, she was beating me last year, too. And then she accidentally messed up, and that's how I won. But she saw me this year, and she's like, oh, my gosh, I remember you. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're really strong, stuff like that. And, like, she was just, like, after that tournament, I saw her throughout the entire season, and, like, she was, like, the one person in, like, my 4 years that I really, like, really talked to and made friends with during wrestling, and,
She's killing it right now.
Dude, I know.
Yeah, she's killing it right now.
I see on her Instagram and all that. And she's doing great. She's a freaking sophomore.
I know, yeah.
That's crazy. Like, she was a freshman beating up me as a junior. That was crazy. Like, I thought she was, like, a senior. But, yeah, like, I'll be, like, DMing her, and she DMs me, and we're just, like, congratulating each other. And it's very different from, like, other sports, like track or, like, volleyball or cross-country. You know, it's very different, and it's just kind of, like, you see the same people over and over again.
Yeah, I get you. It's like, yeah, since it's just a small sport, you're going to see people again and again, especially around here. And it's managed to, like, help build bonds and, like, create relationships that I wasn't ever going to be able to have, right? Mm-hmm. Which I'm, like, glad. I'm blessed, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever. Do you have any final things there? No?
I don't think so, no.
No? Nothing? Well, thank you for listening to the second episode of Talk Too Much Podcast. And it'll be a pleasure. Till next time. Say bye.
Oh. I'm sorry, I was looking at the green thing. Bye.
Bye-bye.